Your one click on the subscribe button makes a huge difference. Thank you for your kind support.
Joe Goldberg is back in action and, true to his dark nature, he's diving deep into the chaos of his life. This episode delivers a fresh dose of the twisted and unpredictable events we've come to expect from you. Joe seems to have embraced his murderous tendencies once again, much to the dismay of his wife, Kate, who's trying to hold it together despite their shared, messy secrets. Right off the bat, Joe still can't let go of his compulsion to document his crimes. Although Kate wisely tells him to burn the creepy murder-filled fiction, he's been holding on to. Joe, staying true to his self-righteous writer ego, stashes his dark drafts in the infamous human aquarium instead. Joe's a lot of things: stalker, murderer, but now it seems he's also trying to make it as a writer with what we can safely assume is prose dripping with narcissism and self-importance. Kate's frustration isn't surprising. How do you deal with a husband who values his murder manifesto so much he files it like precious artifacts? Joe, though wealthy by marriage since season 3, remains haunted by his roots. He's fighting an inner war between his lavish present and traumatic past. A foster care kid who endured a dark upbringing with Mr. Mooney, the past Joe wants to hide keeps bleeding into his present. On the surface, he's a rich bookstore owner with a troubled son, but deep down, he still carries the guilt, pain, and homicidal tendencies of his former stray dog self. If only the world could see him as he wishes. A misunderstood hero who loves books and occasionally kills people. Then there's Bronte, a new and quirky addition. Bronte seems determined to keep Joe's attention while simultaneously showcasing alarming levels of poor survival instincts. From dragging a chair off the street, bedbugs, into Mooney's to poking around Joe's eerie basement, aka Murder Museum. A lot of her choices feel like giant red flags flapping in the wind. Despite discovering Joe's dark past both figuratively and physically, Bronte appears more intrigued than frightened. You've got to wonder, is Bronte in over her head, or does she have her own endgame? Meanwhile, Joe is dealing with parenting woes. His son, Henry, punched a classmate, Gretchen, at school, and the fallout escalates quickly. Reagan, Gretchen's furious mom, threatens to press charges, which could jeopardize Henry's future at the fancy school. Things boil over when Joe learns Reagan isn't accusing Love of murder, but, instead, suspects Kate of orchestrating the suspicious death of Uncle Bob. In a wild dinner party where emotions run high, Reagan makes it clear she's coming for Kate, accusing her of leveraging their dad's killer instincts to climb the corporate ladder. Things spiral further when Henry throws a knife at Reagan. If anyone needed more proof this family has unresolved issues, there it is. Joe's instinct is always murder, so it's no surprise when he decides Reagan needs to be dealt with. Although Kate vetoes any more killing, Joe has his own plans. After stalking Reagan at work, he's caught off guard by her bizarre role-playing session with her concussion-prone NFL husband, Harrison. What unfolds is a scene so absurd, Joe takes matters into his own hands. He locks Harrison in a closet, knocks Reagan out, and drags her to his human aquarium. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Joe discovers too late that he's accidentally kidnapped Reagan's twin. A twist that could only happen in Joe's chaotic and brutal world. On the other side, Kate struggles with her own moral battles. She insists their family must stay away from murder, but the cracks in her and Joe's trust are widening. Could this moral disagreement signal the beginning of the end for their marriage? Additionally, Kate's decision to nominate an old ally, Teddy, for Bob's old board seat only adds to the tension. What is Teddy's true intention in aligning himself so closely with Kate? The intrigue thickens. By the episode's end, Bronte has bafflingly secured herself an apartment above the bookstore, blissfully ignorant of the danger she's courting. Joe also decides to have an awkward chat with Henry about Love's dark past. The uneasy conversation further highlights how fragile and dysfunctional this father-son relationship is. With its mix of absurd moments, dark humor, and shocking twists, this episode of You doesn't hold back. Joe may have started with the intention of laying low, but his inability to suppress his violent tendencies and the chaos around him ensures he's nowhere close to finding peace. As the chaos deepens, the show proves once again why it's so addictive. Insanity is simply Joe's default setting.